Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, where we talk with local entrepreneurs, share motivation, network with one another, and pick up a tip or two on how not to burn your business to the ground. I'm your host, Spencer Ward. Everyone, welcome back to the Idaho Business Podcast. As always, sponsored by Health West. Great people, great organization, great medical organization. See what they can do for you and your family all throughout Idaho. Google them where they're closest to you, and let's give them some business because they're awesome. New Clean Commercial Cleaning, my company. We are your janitorial professionals. And if you need any help from Twin Falls all the way to Rexburg currently, we continue to grow. We would love to help you. Give us a call, 208-254-7070. All right, guys and gals, I was just meeting with my nephew. He called me with his potential business partner, and he wanted some advice. And I started thinking of all the stuff I told him. I'm like, you know what, this would make a great episode, so let's just roll it. If you think back when you were in your early 20s, the gals and guys out there, it's stressful. We're all trying to think how we're gonna, build a career that can support ourselves and a potential family in the future. There's a lot of stress on our plates, but one thing I like is Gary Vee. He always says it to these young people, like, listen, guys, I had nothing figured out in my 20s. You could literally fail year after year after year and start something in your 30th year of life and still be fine. Like, you're fine, guys. Like, take some of the stress off. Obviously, we want to hustle. We want to find our way. But that being said, to this younger generation, this is my opinion. So if you disagree with it, that's okay. You have your opinion, I have mine. So my nephew wanted to start a service-based business in North Carolina. And I said, okay, I've taken him in the past to business buying conferences to help him understand what that world's like and how he can succeed in that world. I said, why wouldn't you buy a business instead of start one? Because, as we all know, 90% of businesses usually fail. And why not buy a business that's already cash flowing, already has systems and processes hopefully in place, and already have good managers, good people running it and working in it for you? And he's like, well, we don't have two nickels to rub together right now. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. Here's another way of thinking about it or to go about it. I said, listen, if you aren't interested, and I'm talking to the younger generation along with my nephew for this episode. If you're not interested in being a doctor, a medical professional, a lawyer, an accountant, something specific that you can go to a 4-year degree and get that degree and come out pretty much guaranteed a job, I would say, guys, if you're not interested in those careers, and I'm sure there's a few others I haven't mentioned, so don't get in the comments and say, oh, you're an idiot, you forgot to mention this. I totally get it. There's other careers other than what I just mentioned that are pretty much guaranteed jobs right after a 4-year degree or beyond. You're obviously a doctor. You've gone to more than 4 years of school. Same with lawyers and so on. So, yes. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm not interested in those different avenues, but I still am interested in doing something within business, owning my own business, this is what I would do. If I could do it all over again, I don't think I'd start my own business. And I know you're thinking, oh yeah, well, Spencer, you've grown a decent sized business. It's easy to say that now, but it's really not. Like, it was super hard. And all you that have started businesses and grown businesses, it was super hard. It still is hard. Business is not for the weak. But when you think about it, if you could get the experience of the field that you want to be in, and then buy into that field with a business that's already generating revenue and profit, and have those good people running it, how much easier would it be? Wouldn't be easy, but it would be easier. So that's what I said to him. That's what I said to my nephew. I said, listen, okay, you don't have two pennies to rub together, two nickels to rub together. That's fine. Why not go and get a job in that area that you like, whether it be North Carolina, wherever it is, in this world. Go get a job in that industry that you're interested in, especially if it's in the trades, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Go get a job in it if you don't know anything about it. Okay, that's the big thing. If you don't know anything about the industry that you're interested in, go get a job in it. Okay, go get the experience in it. Be their best employee. Okay, do everything you can to learn and to grow and to suck everything in. And then you have opportunity to, either because we know in the trades, there's a lot of baby boomers that own businesses within the trades. A lot of them eventually are going to want to retire. I don't think they want to run the businesses until they die. That's not fun. I wouldn't want to do that. So chances are they're going to want to sell those businesses. And what a better way in than to be working in that business with that individual, gain their trust, not by, in a fraudulent type of way, but because you're their best employee and you're there for them. You'll jump over fences for them. You'll do anything because you want to learn this industry and you want to be a good person. And then you find yourself in a position to think, hey, I've heard that you mentioned that it's time to maybe start looking at buying a boat and selling off with your spouse and enjoying your life. What do you think about me purchasing this company from you? And that's how I would go about, getting into this business, getting into that world of business ownership. And now I'm sure you're going to think, or you're thinking to yourself, well, again, Spence, like it's not solving the problem where he has only two nickels to rub together or two pennies to rub together. Okay, I get it. I get it. Number one, when you're trying to buy a business, you want to build rapport with the person that you're buying from. That you can already check that box off because as you're working for them and you're trying to be their best employee, you're trying to be reliable for them. You're the right hand guy or gal. They trust you. And again, it's not in a way to be fraudulent or any way of being conniving at all. It's just because you want to learn. Um, and hopefully you like this person. So there's different scenarios that could take place here. Number one, you know, love it or hate it, many business owners don't have very good numbers. Their numbers are kind of sloppy. They write off pretty much most of their profits, so they don't show much profit to the government, Uncle Sam, to be taxed. But on the flip side, they also don't have profits to show on their tax returns to get businesses financed through traditional financing means and ways. Okay. Not all of them are like that, but many of them are. Okay. And typically, when you're buying a business, they want to see at least 3 years tax returns, and they want to see an increase every year. That's kind of what you want to do. And then you take the average EBITDA, and then you take that average EBITDA, and then you decide on what multiple that you're going to buy that business out for. It all depends on the size of the business, and we can get. I think we've talked about that in the past episodes, and I don't want to go run on that tangent on this episode. But you do that, okay? This is your first way of getting into it, and say, hey, your numbers aren't there. The banks aren't going to finance it. What if we do a situation where we do an owner carry situation? And you can do this many different ways. You can do owner carry for maybe, hey, let's do it, run it for 2 or 3 years like this. And then I will show, clean numbers. And then I can show that to the bank. And then I can finance you out of the owner carry situation, the seller finance situation by going back to the bank and saying, hey, I'm doing an owner carry situation here, seller finance. Look at the numbers that since I've been running it, they're clean, they're showing profit. Now, can you give me an SBA loan or something like that to just take the seller out of the equation? So you can do that. That's a real easy way to do it. Or you know what? They might just enjoy getting that 51, to 10,000 or 20,000, whatever it is, dollars a month as part of their retirement. You know, It's helping them to retire with dignity, and they just enjoy that cash flow coming in every month. And honestly, it's better that they're not getting the cash right up front because they're not getting taxed all at once. So it's easier a little bit on their taxes. They're not going to get hit by all the taxes. And many of these service businesses, aren't at the size that it's going to be a multi-million-dollar buyout. Many of them are, hey, this is worth 600,000. This is worth 700,000. This is worth 500,000. This is worth 400,000. Okay. So a lot of them are just enjoy that cash flow coming every month, as long as they trust you and you've built rapport with them and they know that you're going to take care of their company. So that's honestly those ways that I would say to my nephew and to the younger generation looking to get into business. This is the way to do it. You can buy businesses pretty much with no money down, but get the experience in that industry first. Stay in your lane. That's why I say, like, I would not go and buy an accounting business. I wouldn't go buy a bookkeeping business because I don't have experience in those industries, and it's not my lane. I would buy a carpet cleaning business because I know that. I would buy another janitorial business because I know that. I'd buy a window cleaning business because I know that. All those things are different. All those different things are in my lane. So that's kind of you have to think of. Maybe if you own an accounting business and you're like, you know what, I want to buy a bookkeeping business as well. That's great because it's still in your lane, and it kind of just ties in. They call those bolt-on types of businesses. But guys and gals, I just want you to know, like, listen, many people don't have it figured out. Most of us don't have it figured out until we're in our 30s. And know that you can still be successful in this world by trying to figure out what you want to do. And say you go into one of these trades, maybe plumbing or electrical or HVAC, you're like, you know what, it's not for me. It's okay. Maybe you're still interested in the trades, but not in that trade. That's okay. That's fine. Go from plumbing to HVAC or electrical to plumbing or whatever. Jump around, find what's interesting to you, and then work in that trade for a little bit. Make some money. More than likely, you're going to make a lot more money than these people are coming right out of 4 years of college right now, just working in the trades. So that's what I would do. That's my personal opinion. That's my advice to the younger generation. If I had to do it over again, I would definitely get into the trades, of those type of specific trades, and I think that would work well. Okay, guys, I hope that was some value to you. Obviously, there's different ways to buy businesses. SBA loans are out there as well. Typically, you have to put 5 to 10% down, sometimes 15% down on SBA loans to buy businesses. You usually have about, I think, don't quote me on this, around 5 million of funding available to you for SBA loans to buy businesses. In certain types of businesses, I think can go up to 7 million now. I think it's more for manufacturing. Again, don't quote me on that, but I'm just telling you what I know and what I've heard. But go out there, guys and gals, you younger generation, or even the older generation that's still trying to find your way. And I think this is a good path. And this is exactly what I'll tell my kids. I have two kids right now out of 4 that they want to go into the medical field, which is great. I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader for that. And I don't know what my other 2 want to do, but if they don't want to do that, they don't want to do something specific that I've already mentioned, I'm going to push them towards the trades. Okay. Doesn't matter if you're guys or gals. I built this building in Chubbuck just recently, and I had some fantastic younger people working as apprentices to plumbers and electricians, and guys and gals that were just fantastic. They're learning, they're growing, they're making good money. I'm all about that. So just know that the 4-year degree is just not the only way. No. Have a great day. Be happy, be grateful, find opportunities to serve others, and just go out there and dominate your week. Adios. That's it for today's Idaho Business Podcast. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you didn't, I've got a cheat code for you. Go to theidahobusinesspodcast.com, enter your email, and get my 20 golden rules for business. It's packed with my best advice, plus it's free. Subscribe, leave a review, share this with a friend. Until next time, keep hustling, keep laughing, and keep Idaho awesome.